what a good job you're doing with the Palatine Park, keep adding all that stuff over there. It's really starting to shape up to be a main attraction for the northern part of West Virginia.
Yes, it is.
This is Joe Dunnigan. Joel, I'm sorry, Joel Dunnigan. He's the head of the art department at Fremont State. Him is my new neighbor. He moved in. His wife got a job at Fremont State. And we got talking about Palatine Park and the walls down there. And so we come up with this idea. So I'm doing a little artwork, and I'll let him go ahead and do the talking from now on. And he has some plans for that, but I think you guys will be very interested. Thank you.
Thanks. Thank you, Butch.
Around the window.
Joel Dugan is my name, and my wife and I are somewhat new to the county. We've been here a little bit over a year. We own a house over on thank you very much, over on the west side, and both Butch and I are neighbors, so we have had conversations about a sense of place. And so as a parent and as an artist, I have frequented Palatine Park, and I find that right now as a park, there are some points where it feels a little disjointed. And I have always been interested in history and in a place, and really the footsteps that took place to make it what it was and what it is. And so in many cases, I see that as an opportunity for art to fill a gap. And so what I want to talk about is a project that Butch and I have kind of dreamed about. And my idea was, this project would be proposed out to summer of 2020. It would be a 4 to 6 week span of time that would be a project that would basically incorporate art students at Fairmont State who are working with me to develop some mural proposals, and then installing them in Palatine Park in the center, where there's kind of a little bit of light around the bridge. And at this point right now, when there's no lights there at night, and when people are able to hide, I think that you end up with some loitering there that causes a kind of a disjointed feel. So the goal of this project is to connect both the two ends of Palatine Park with public art, and to visualize the iconic people that make up and establish our sense of place. So by creating this partnership that would be on behalf of Marion County and Fairmont State, I think that we keep our talent home, and in a way we let them make impact in a community that they are, such an important and pivotal part of. I think too often we see youth absorbed in their own portals, and they don't have the ability to talk about the people who have led us where we are. Okay, so just quickly about kind of who I am. I got an opportunity as an undergraduate student in college to paint a mural for the Capitol building in Lansing, Michigan. And it transformed my idea of what an artist was. And it positioned me in a way where I was a business owner, and I understood a lot more of the entrepreneurship skills that came with that. So I established a mural painting company and moved all over the East Coast as I had my business for 7 years. And these are some of the notable clients I've had. And here are some examples of different portions of the mural. The slides are fit a little bit different to the screen, but this is the only mural right now to hang in the Capitol building in Lansing, Michigan, other than the governor portraits, and I painted it as a student. It identifies the two lower and upper peninsula of Michigan coming together. It's Mackinac Straits. This is the last mural that I ran with students, and it took place in Kansas, and it identified 3 sections of a timeline of the history of that city. And so the students and I developed those projects. We would propose them out to the city commissioners, as well as that time to the administration in the university. And I work purely pro bono on behalf of the university. The students received a small stipend from fundraising, and we established these large pieces, and they became markers of public art on the state's forum. This is an image of their old train station. So researching that with the cultural center, what I was able to do then was to establish visuals that brought together this timeline in a way that you're not seeing on a Facebook stream for our youth, and in many ways it's hidden inside of entities they don't visit anymore. So this is my area of choice. I've gone down to Palatine Park and participated in the events with my family since we've been here. We find it to be a great opportunity. The splash pad is something my kids love. But when we're walking back to the car and we head down towards that area underneath that bridge, and they often want to go down there and see the one piece of sculpture that's there, they want to navigate down towards the ducks, I hesitate. And as a father, the reason I hesitate is because there's an area back there that kind of seems to me to not be integrated. So my vision really has to do with this wall that we're seeing right here. It takes place between this stairwell and the start of that bridge. Currently, it has a little mural that exists on the bottom portion of kind of elaborate stick figures that are showing different activities that can take place at the park. My vision is to center on this wall and to ask the county to consider joining together with myself and the students to complete this project. What would I like? I would like to see something that identifies the leaders of who we would refer to as the icons of Marion County. I am thinking about asking no more from the county than to clean the surface and prime and prep it. I will supply the students. I'm going to work on behalf of the project to try to find fundraising if I need to cover some of the supplies. I don't know if there's beautification grants that are out there right now for city parks that we might be able to tap into, but this is a quick sketch. I put together this digital image that pulled some of the icons off of the Marion County website and really looked at those and highlighted them in a way where we can create a visual indicator of place. So, you know, it's going to be a conversation that will have to take place over the next year, but really what I would like to do is start to find a way to do the following and kind of these 5 steps, and that's create the public art piece during the spring. 2020, we're coming up with ideations, which mean the students are coming up with drawings, and then we're proposing them to you all as well, to whatever other entities might help fund the project. We come to some type of a consensus, and then we lead out with community focus groups, meaning that I'm having a meeting on the west side of town, the east side of town. It's open to the public, and we're asking people to respond to the sketches, tell some stories, help to direct us if there's anything that's inaccurate. Then we will have those sketches and proposals made public, and then painting will commence over 4 weeks with the hope that we could reveal it during Independence Day 2020, as a lot of the icons that we have are former servicemen and women, and so we could help to actually wrap it into that festival. So that is just kind of my idea. This is something Butch and I have talked about, and we just came to a point where I said, let's try to see if we can get some legs underneath it. Like most projects, I know that the funding will become an issue. At this point, I just want to get us to kind of envision something that's possible. So I'm willing to work towards it. I would run it kind of as a class, and I think that it would be a great endeavor for the students.
I'm impressed.
Yeah, I am too. It looks nice. I think it's something that would interest everybody down there. The subjects and the matter, maybe, you know, could be looked at. I don't know what all, you might ask around and see what all needs to be on that, but the concept is wonderful as far as I'm concerned. Any kind of an idea of the cost, just a ballpark figure, what it would cost to do this?
I think we'd have to look at the structural quality of the wall. I don't think that I necessarily need every crack filled to the extent where it's perfectly flat, because paint can cover a lot. But I'm thinking we need to have some type of sealant put on there that's going to hopefully trap some of the moisture. And then I think we need to get it primed. In addition to that, I'll have to find some equipment to be able to utilize for the painting. And that would be a cherry picker or a motorized scaffold. I need that for about 4 to 6 weeks. And I would obviously need to probably rope off the area for those 4 to 6 weeks so that we could work. I would encourage the idea of us investing in lighting. Because I will say that if you had lighting that was downward on that wall, one, it will glow as an icon when you're coming across either one of the bridges, pulling you down towards that area, and 2, it helps to highlight an area that I think is in somewhat of a situation of blight right now. I had run that as an estimate when looking at paint and man hours. I don't know with your suppliers, but I'm thinking you're looking somewhere at around $10,000 to prep the wall, to get it to a point where it's paintable. And the equipment rental is the biggest cost right now when looking at it, because it's about $1,300 a week to rent it. Now, I don't know how, you know, the university nor the city comes across that if we have those in, if we rent them out or if they're purchased. Obviously, if that was something that we already had, it would be a different situation. We just have to mobilize it down there or transport it. But on the painting end, I'm going to work to try to see if I can gather some money to serve as a stipend for the students. Obviously, when I painted my first mural in Michigan, I spent an entire summer on it, and the money was very meager, but gosh, it makes it feel a little bit more like an internship experience when you have something there that you're working with. I would be completely supported with the class with the university, and I would donate the rest of my service as counsel and as director of the project.
Hey, Randy, can I make a couple comments?
Sure.
Number one, remember a couple years ago, we tried to get that wall gun nighted, and the blight area he's talking about, I think, if Ernie, is that Vandalia owns that grass area between the bridge and the wall, and the city owns the wall, and we did put lights under the bridge, so it is lit from one end to the other.
Yeah, but the lights don't work.
I think
That's additional lights.
So did we put this? Did you say the city owns the wall
They own the wall, and then,
and Vandalia?
ask Ernie, is either Vandalia or they traded the city for that, where all the grass and shrubs were growing up.
Yeah,
That's that light area
they
you're talking about.
Yeah.
Yeah, it'd be nice to clean that up, get rid of that. You know, ironically enough, I got a phone call this morning from an outfit that actually cleans concrete walls and stuff. And they were wanting to do some volunteer community service work.
Well, praise the Lord.
Strangely enough, put right in our lap. I'll contact him today. In fact, we're going to speak about it.
Praise Jesus.
Then like
Good place to
cherry
start.
picker. Does Park Recreation have a cherry picker?
I don't know if they do or not. Do they have a lift? Do you wear them at Park Avenue? We can find out.
But when we get, you
Yeah.
know, when one of the companies around here to donate that, or we get everybody
Yeah.
to work together.
and that's
That'd
something
be a
I've
great project.
And that's something I've had success with in the past, is working with local businesses to see if they would donate some things at either cost, or if they'd actually do a complete donation. We have a lot of paint suppliers here in town, I think could help also with the cost of some of the materials. I think that you have so much wall in that frontage there of the park that it just makes sense to me that it would be a wonderful opportunity for public art. And it could be something that has proposals from the community and continues to highlight some of the talent that you have here inside the town.
I know as a business owner here in Marion County, I would be more than happy to get with Valspar and probably donate a lot of the paint. I think it's a very worthwhile project.
Oh, well, thank you.
Really doll up
Yeah,
our park as well.
it looks good. And
Then after that wall, come out all the way out through and do
so you
something.
got a big canvas there, that's for sure. But it's one-
Well, the largest mural I've ever done is 157 feet, so I think we're still doing, yes.
I'll make a suggestion, though you're talking about community meetings. I would suggest that you, at the different events that are continuing on through the summer, just take a poll now at those events to see what people's feelings are, not the pictures themselves, but what would their impression be about doing that. And it'd be a great way to get the community involved right away.
That's a wonderful idea. Yeah, so in creating one standalone forum, open up kind of comment boxes or some
I
type
mean, you can
of,
still have your community forums later on, but right now, immediately, like just because there's still so many events going on in August for the park,
yes.
that just, you
It'd be
know.
nice if you could make a copy of that and get that on they would make, 50, 60, or maybe even, probably even a couple hundred copies of what that looks like now. So people can see it, you can talk about it in a public forum, but if you have a picture, you can just show somebody what it's gonna look
I
like.
put on what Fairmont needs and other things.
That'd be nice to see, I think it's great.
Can I ask one question? How long will the integrity of that painting last?
There is a maintenance portion that you have to consider for any mural. At the end, what I always like to do, and Benjamin Moore sells the product, and there's other providers that sell it, there's a graffiti-resistant sealer that you can put on it that's UV protectant. That will need to be applied at the end because it's at ground level. So the opportunity for somebody to come up and to stylize one of the faces with a mustache or to give their own commentary is possible. If that takes place, then you can use some of the citrus-based cleaners or some of the solvent-based cleaners to get through the top layer of that. If needed, you can remove the sealant and put it back on. I'm going to say you're looking at an estimated lifespan, and this is just thinking about the idea that the sealant might hold back some of the wall. I think we're looking at like 15 to 20 years before an actual update or a touch-up would come back into play. Yeah, so that's a length of time that I would project it out.
That kind of connects one end of the park with the other. That's kind of a dead area.
Yeah, we've been kind of wanting to do something with that roadway that goes up there. It's all grown up. There's boxes and stuff up in there. We've been actually talking about that a great deal.
Yeah, that is a point of conversation I've had with Dr. Alvarez at Fairmont State, was the idea that of the story of what Palatine Park was,
Right.
how it's been reoccupied and changed. And I will say, personally, I've said to him that little alcove there underneath the bridge would be a great place to create some type of corridor visual paintings that adorn the different changes that took place in Palatine Park. Now, when I talk to them about some of the stories, some of them don't seem like something we could always paint a rosy picture of. So we kind of have to select a little bit. But I think there's great opportunity both north and south of this, but I think this would be a center point that we could start on and then branch out.
Yeah, it's a great idea. I don't know who we talked to about cleaning up that little, that actually used to be a road that you're looking at there. The area has a grass and the trees in it there. It doesn't belong to us, but we often thought about it. Actually, I think we cleaned it up a couple of times. We cut all the brush and stuff out of it, but we did the lights we have going through the river walk we have there, the existing now that goes up through there and down to the other single lane boat ramp. We did extend the lights to match what we have all the way down through there.
Correct.
To but I understand it still could be lit up more, but we do have lights and fencing all the way down there to the handicap accessible pier across underneath the bridge there that we're talking about.
And what
And we also, right directly across from that, where we have the overlook there, on each side of that overlook, we put picnic tables, benches.
Correct.
Typically, and there's a historical board there that explains what took place off the left-hand side of that overlook. But that is an area that needs addressed. Of all the ones, that is the weakest area, I think. That would really make it look nice. We could light that up, make it work, and then to encourage whoever owns that up there to maybe clean that up even more up through there, that alleyway that goes up to Merchant Street. It needs attention. But it's a good way to start. I like the idea. The next step, I guess, would be to take a look at the wall and see what it does look like, whether it's something that needs a lot of repair. That makes a lot of difference. And to the people that own the wall, which would be the city of Fairmont. But I think the county would be interested in being part of the project, putting it together.
Well, I thank you for your time. I know that it's just the start of solving a lot of problems. But just know that the vision exists, and I think we have talented people that can work on it.
I like it personally. I think it's a great idea.
Okay. Thank you so much.
Thank you.
Any other questions?
Anybody else?
That's it.
Okay, well, listen, appreciate everybody. Okay, Artie's got something. Hold on a second.
Well, I'll make it real quick. I just wanted to take the time. Sometimes, we work on projects, and this may be a prime example. We worked on a project for probably 2 years trying to put something together with the Berrien County Board of Education and Fairmont State, the pilots, Joel Kirk and Dennis Elliott, and Fairmont State's Murda Martin. She did a great job, and as well as Mary Jo and Randy Farr, the new superintendent for the Board of Education. We worked to put a program together for our students here in the aviation program and try to combine it with what we have to offer in this community and surrounding communities through the CKB Airport. It took a lot of work, a lot of roundtable work, and we were able to present them with a check here 2 weeks ago. And it looks like the program is putting together. But I just want to give a special thanks to all those and the other commissioners. We all worked together on it. We all put a lot of time in it, a lot of effort, and our efforts look like they've paid off. And once again, a special thanks to Murda Martin from Fairmont State, the pilots, Randy Farley, the superintendent, and Mary Jo, and all the others on the Board of Education.
It was a great announcement and a great event, and it's going to be a wonderful program in addition to Fairmont State's curriculum. There's, what they say, 700,000 shortage of pilots that's coming up into the near future. And right around the backyard, we've got a golden opportunity there. But that was part of the purchase of the money we contributed is going to be for a simulator to be had at Fairmont State, which you can learn how to be a pilot, and then go on maybe to pursue a career in that. And when we announced the contribution of Fairmont State over at the hangar room behind the Robert C. Byrd Center over there, it was well attended. It was very, very nice. Very hot over there, but it was very, very nice. And it added another great addition to what you could achieve here in Marion County for a career. And it was very, very nice.
Yeah, we have a lot of opportunity here, and especially with the schools, Fairmont State. You can see the kind of people that step up, university, all of our county schools. All we have to do is be able to, I think, try to combine what opportunities are here, and we can keep our children here. They've often been our greatest export, and I think we've reached a point now where we can turn that around and maybe grow this area in all aspects.
Thank you, Ernie. It was an honor to be over there, to be part of that. Chris, that'll conclude this meeting. We'll stand in recess until the 14th of August, at 10 o'clock. Thank you all for coming out today.
Good news. Good news.